They need a civil war. That's what's happening right now. It's pretty obvious, would you say? Several nights ago, I decided to rewatch the movie 1984 from George Orwell. I'm sure the vast majority of you have seen it or read the book. There are many different versions of the movie. If you haven't, you definitely should. And in the movie, they employ a tactic called 2 minutes of hate, wherein every day, multiple times per day, all the citizens are forced to set aside their current responsibilities or whatever they're working on or doing and group up together and direct hatred toward their perceived, constructed enemy of war. And they yell, they're shown images of their enemies, and they yell into a screen and get themselves all worked up into a tizzy and out of hatred for 2 minutes straight. And they do this all the time. And it's a tactic of control of the citizens to make them continue to be reliant on their government as their savior. And it became very obvious to me when watching this is exactly what's being done to us right now with this race war that is being stoked constantly, every day, across all different mediums. Now, obviously, it's intended to be a war between white people and black people, right? It's pretty obvious. And there's a lot of nonsense being floated. But where the 2 minutes of hate comes into play, if you're white and you're on social media and you're browsing, minding your own business, whatever, how many times do you come across a video or an article, but mostly videos, showing black people beating the crap out of innocent white people, or tearing them out of cars and beating them up? Or I saw one the other day of a black guy knocking over a 92-year-old woman, hitting her in the face as she was walking along the street. And these things are just being thrown at us constantly, nonstop. It's like 2 minutes of hate on steroids, because if you allow it, it can become a part of every minute of your day, let alone turning on mainstream media. Now, if you're black, it's working in the same exact way, right? You've got the media constantly showing white police officers shooting quote-unquote innocent black people, or making that claim at least. And it's their 2 minutes of hate against white people. But again, it's being stoked constantly. They need a race war. They need a civil war in this country. And clearly they want it to be between white and black people by bringing up all these things from the past. Quite obviously and quite honestly, any reasonable person, I think, knows that we've left those things in the past. So what's the reason? What's the purpose? Why do they need a civil war to carry out this long-term agenda that we've been subjected to through Corona and all these other things? Obviously, it goes without saying that lockdowns aren't enough to carry out the agenda. And the second wave of lockdowns that's clearly coming, no doubt about it, it's not enough. It's not enough chaos See, the whole goal of the agenda is a worldwide reset in every way. And with each new wave of corona and these lockdowns, which are meant to just demoralize you into ultimately accepting the new reality, the new post-lockdown, post-corona reality that they have planned for us, the lockdowns aren't going to cut it. They need this chaos of a civil war. So number one, please stop looking at it. Stop sharing it for hundreds or thousands of other people to see, because it's feeding this 2 minutes of hate constantly, and it will lead us into a civil war. I have no doubt. And I can say that because even me personally, when I am constantly allowing myself to be subjected to these images and videos of black people needlessly beating up white people, yeah, it's upsetting. They need that emotional response to really be triggered into finally forcing us to take action against each other. And I fear it's coming. But I think the only way we can avoid it is to get out of the 2 minutes of hate mentality, right? We know what's happening. I've been saying this for weeks. Stop sharing this stuff. Stop sharing it. Tell people stop sharing it. All it's doing is feeding into a civil war that's impending, and none of us want to live through that. Are you prepared to live through that? Is it something that you want? I guess ask yourself that every time you're tempted to share something striking or gory or whatever it is on social media. I hope I'm mostly preaching to the choir here, but I don't know that I am. Now we have to remember, again, the entire goal of the agenda is a worldwide reset, which will lead us into the mark of the beast system. That's the goal, the new system, the new economic, sociological system that will be the mark of the beast system. And we're being beat down slowly to get us there. All these little details happening in the middle and will be continuing to happen in the middle all lead to that. And they're not hiding it anymore. The World Economic Forum is putting it right out there for us to know. Worldwide reset. It's the whole goal of this. The mask wearing, worldwide reset. It's a ritual transformation. Freemasonic. The kneeling, worldwide reset. Kneeling to the new beast that's coming. The second beast system. I know most of you have read my Mark of the Beast article. If you haven't, I'll link it. Read it. Because it's what is happening. And if I had any doubts about that when I wrote the article in March, those doubts are now gone. That is exactly where this is all heading. But they need a civil war in America to carry it out. Because through war is what causes the masses, the citizens, to trust more fully in government, right? This entire agenda is to get you to trust government, to trust the system. If you remember Neil deGrasse Tyson back in, I think it was an interview he did in late February, right before the lockdowns with Corona happened, and he was on an interview, I don't know what it was, some late night talk show, and He said this entire thing is an experiment, deGrasse Tyson said. He said, it's an experiment to see, will people trust science, right? Science is part of the system. Science is a false religion. It's part of the system. So the entire goal, whether it's the lockdowns, whether it's the stimulus money, and stimulus packages, all these things, and an impending civil war, all these things that are intended on making you rely on the government and the government's ultimate solution, which will be the mark of the beast system. If you go into that, well, not good. It's getting frustrating for sure, and I know a lot of you are frustrated with all of this, but it's not going to get better anytime soon. And I guess, there's a couple ways to deal with it. One way is hide from it, ignore it, pretend it's not happening. Try to do that at times, but it doesn't feel right. Another way is to totally immerse yourself in all of it until the point where it just consumes you. That's not right either. I think what we need to do is be very aware of each step of the process as it's happening. But always keep in mind with every step, always see the end game. Always see the end result. Always remember what this is all about. It is the beast system making its transfer into the beast of the earth, the second beast in Revelation 13. And that's the one who gives the mark of the beast. That is the reset that everyone's talking about, that the World Economic Forum is talking about. It's the beast system reset. And you don't want to be a part of it. But it's going to become more and more difficult as we go through the rest of this summer into the fall. It's going to get harder and harder to keep out of it, because so many things are going to be happening, like with California now mandating mask wearing. It's coming in other states. It's probably coming for all of us. It is coming for all of us. I put up a video yesterday about California, and one of the first comments on the video was, I asked at the end of the video, what are your thoughts on how we can go against this and still try to live normal lives? And one of the first comments was, move out of California. Well, yeah, that's fine, temporarily, but it's not an isolated thing. It just gets slow rolled out to us that way, to normalize it, to get us used to it, right? And then by the time it comes to us personally, well, okay, I guess I have to do that. And that's the whole goal, is to keep you taking one step, one foot in front of the other, walking slowly into the reset, walking slowly into the mark of the beast system. First it's masks, then it's a COVID test. Nothing good for you will come out of taking a COVID test. Nothing. After that, it's going to be the vaccine. After that, it's going to be, you won't be able to buy or sell if you're not in this new system. And so it's easy to understand all of this from a high level, mentally, right? But then when it comes down to it actually affecting your life in a day-to-day way, it's also just as easy to make those small adjustments within the system that they're creating for us. How many have you made? How many small adjustments have you made? For example, when I put up an article several weeks ago when Apple and Android, announced that their next updates were going to include the COVID tracking software. And it's a pain to not update your phone, right? And so I guess I'll just update my phone and deal with it. And that's a step. You just made another step into the new system. Well, I'm not going to wear a mask unless I absolutely have to. Like to go to work or whatever. And then I'll do it. It's a slow walk into the reset. I'm not standing on any high ground here myself, because in a lot of ways for me, so far to date, it's been relatively easy to not comply with any of it. I haven't complied with any of it. None. But I know it's not as easy for a lot of other people, depending on where you live, where you work, things like that. It's not a judgment. But be cognizant of it. Be cognizant of the sacrifices that you're making, of the small steps that you're taking every day into the new system. And where do you draw the line ultimately? Do you think that you can walk the tightrope up until that very last moment where now it's do or die time, and either you sell your soul into the Mark of the Beast system or don't? Do you think at that point, if you've allowed yourself to make all of these small changes as they slow walk us into that, how easy do you think it's going to be then to say no at that point? See, they're not dumb. They know what they're doing. Satan is the master of all lies. He knows how to slow walk us into this. Even the very elect. I know some of you are still hoping for that rapture, right? That rapture before all this happens. That you don't need to worry about it. I'm telling you, you do. You do need to worry about it. I ask you, I beg you to revisit that idea. Ask God. Excuse me. Definitely don't want to re-edit all of this. I'm going to take a quick drink here. Ask God through the Holy Spirit to help you revisit the idea that you're going to be raptured away from all these troubles before you have to face them. Because if that were the case, Revelation would have never warned us of the mark of the beast. Revelation would have never warned us about souls that were beheaded for the name of Christ. Jesus would have never said that those who endure until the end will be saved. And I just fear this rapture theology, pre-tribulation, as though we're not in the tribulation already. This pre-tribulation rapture idea is creating a complacency. You're not going to be prepared to face this beast system that is coming for you and to try to steal your eternal soul away from God. Right now they need a civil war. And we need to stop feeding the hate. 2 minutes of hate or the 24/7 hate is what it's turned into. Orwell never dreamed of these types of tools that could create hate between people. I really wish you all the best right now with everything that's going on. I know it's emotionally taxing at times. It's mentally taxing. And the things that are coming are going to be even more so. This next lockdown, and who knows what else. This next lockdown is not going to be like the first one. It's going to be very different. I know that for a fact. All the things, if you go back on my website and read some of my articles from March and April about the lockdowns and about Corona, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I thought everything that we're about to face now was going to happen during that lockdown. I didn't know. I didn't understand how much of a slow roll this was all going to be. And I didn't realize that the Civil War, which I knew was going to be a part of all of this, I didn't think it would be a race war. I thought we were past that, but we're not, because of the way the media and social media create this hate between us. I thought the Civil War would be between I thought people would rise up against having all of their freedoms and liberties stripped and being treated like children. I thought there would be a rebellion that would require military force to hold back, but we all just sat back and we all did nothing. Read some of my articles back, in, like I said, March and April. It's pretty clear what I saw coming. I'm not going to rewrite all of those articles for now, because all of those apply to now. All of those apply to this next lockdown. That's very close. And if you doubt that, just start reading some articles. See what the mainstream is putting out there. We're just being set up for it. There's no doubt. But I really wish that, I really hope that you're able to stay mentally strong through all of this. Keep your eyes on Christ, because He and He alone is the only thing that will get us through this. He's it. Aside from Him, we will cave. Bet on that. Bet on it. We will cave to the agenda without Christ, because it's going to be the biggest test of your life. The article I wrote, your faith will soon be tested in the most extreme way. Those weren't just words. In the meantime, let's see what we can do to stop this civil war. And let's start by cutting out the 2 minutes of hate that we're all perpetuating, or a lot of us are. Try to overcome the hate with positivity and love for your fellow man. And realize that whatever we're being shown constantly, that's the vast, vast, vast minority of people that are really feeling that way, or really trying to push those agendas. Most of us don't feel that way at all. God bless you, and just think about some of the things I said. It's going to be really important really soon. God bless.